You know, in the Vietnam War, there was no group more respected than the Tunnel Rats. They were members of the Australian Engineer Field Troop, also known as sappers, and their job was to search, clear and destroy enemy tunnel systems. The Tunnel Rats had a reputation for being a clever, brave and determined bunch, and there was no one more treasured than an Indigenous bloke from Palm Island off the Queensland coast. So what was it that made Bill Coolburra so special and such a favourite amongst his digger mates?
For Bill Coolburra, Palm Island was home. It was where he was born in 1945 and where he lived out his life after his army career. That career started when he joined up in 1964. Bill served in Borneo for 6 months that year. Throughout the 60s, he served in Vietnam and in Malaya, then again in Singapore in the early 1970s. Sapper Bill was in 3 field troop of 1 field squadron, nicknamed the Tunnel Rats, for their work destroying the tunnels of the enemy, the Viet Cong. This sophisticated tunnel system was used by the Viet Cong to communicate and move supplies and troops between villages undetected. The Cu Chi tunnel system housed underground hospitals, ammunition stores and kitchens. To stop or slow the Viet Cong, the tunnels had to be destroyed. But because they were so complex, above-ground attacks were often not enough. Troops needed to go down into the tunnels and blow them up. This form of underground combat was new to Australians. The narrow tunnels were better suited to the smaller Viet Cong fighters and meant that the Tunnel Rats couldn't carry supplies of food and water. All they usually took with them was a pistol, a torch and sometimes a gas mask. They not only encountered rats, scorpions and snakes, there were also booby traps and landmines to clear. Bill's commander, then Captain McGregor, remembers him fondly.
He was a morale booster in Vietnam. He's not forgotten, that's for sure. He used to do things that nobody else would do, and he was a good soldier as well. Well, Billy was always involved in tunnel clearance. He would be going down tunnels with a pistol with another mate, and he would never hesitate. And he'd be one of those engineers that would go forward and clear the mine. He was a brave guy. We were the first down tunnels in Vietnam. We would actually go down and chase them. The Americans weren't doing that. The Americans were blowing up the entrances all the time, but we physically went down the tunnels to clear them.
Off the battlefield, Bill used his talents as a prankster to relieve the stress of this dangerous work and to keep everyone's spirits up. Bill loved singing. He was called up on stage at a Christmas concert for the troops. Bill was injured twice in Vietnam, once when a booby trap in bags of rice exploded. Another time, he was saved by his best mate.
And what do you think when you look at that face?
Well, he nearly always had a big cheesy grin on his face. Bill was a larrikin. He enjoyed playing the guitar and singing to entertain all his mates. I miss him every day, every day. Not a day goes by when I don't think of him or something that we've done.
So close were these two mates that they called themselves twin brothers, and so did everybody else. They met as 19-year-olds in the army. This was them 35 years later.
Everybody was saying we should be blood brothers, and one day we just rubbed our fingers together and said, there, yeah, we are blood brothers.
We're blood brothers.
After the war, Bill returned to Palm Island and Snow went back to Adelaide, but they caught up regularly. In 2001, Bill was told that he had 6 months to live if he didn't find a kidney donor. And who do you think stepped up to offer a kidney? His best mate, Snow.
The decision was quite easy. My best mate needed a kidney. I had 2 of them. They both work well. We'll have one each.
All I just said, I said, no, you know what you're doing. And once again, the answer is yes. He said, it's my kidney. I'll do what I want to do with it. And it sort of touched me when he said that.
The operation was successful. In fact, it gave Bill another 9 years of life with his wife Edna and his family. Bill was a proud Bawookaman man. He became a pastor and an elder on Palm Island after leaving the army. He worked hard to find pathways for the Indigenous youth in his community. And after his death in 2009, an annual rugby league match was started in his honour. It's played between an army team from Townsville and a local Palm Island side. The shield carries his name. And no one was prouder than his old mate Snow.
Now make no mistake about it, Bill Coolburra was a dedicated and a brave engineer, and he was a good one. But I think that he's going to be remembered for more than just that. He was a peacemaker and a prankster, a man of boundless spirit and fun who made his mates laugh, a man who sometimes made this terrible war almost bearable.